So, gang, the family will be making a statement, and they will probably fill a few questions. Obviously, they've been through a lot today over the past 2 decades, so just be mindful of that when they come up. Reverend Stephen Hart is pulling in now, and he'll give a statement about what transpired this morning.
First to the podium this morning will be Director Stephen Harp, Oklahoma Department of Corrections. He'll make a brief statement, perhaps field a few questions.
Yes, sir. Okay. Absolutely. Good morning. I'll read this prepared statement real quick. Today, the Oklahoma Department of Corrections carried out the court-ordered sentence of inmate Jemaine Cannon, who was convicted of murder in the first degree in Tulsa County. Inmate Cannon received his last meal at 5:44 p.m. on July 19th and elected to have volunteer chaplain Michael Scott as his spiritual advisor in the execution room. The execution process began at 10:01, and inmate Cannon was declared unconscious at 10:06 a.m. He was pronounced deceased at 10:13 a.m. Today's event and the circumstances which led to it have affected many people, especially the family and friends of victim Sharonda Clark, a mother of two. As an agency, we carried out the court's orders according to our high standards of professionalism and respect for those in our custody, ensuring dignity for everyone involved in the process. His last meal was he had 2-liter Vintner's ginger ale, 1 cherry pie, a half pound of chicken breast, 1/4 pound of sliced brisket, seasoned fries, fried okra, and sweet and smoky beans. That's my statement. Take any questions you guys have.
Did your DOC staff have any problems getting Mr. Cannon into the death chamber, insertion of the IVs?
No, sir. So in general, medical team did a great job on the IV placement, as always. There were no issues getting him in. He was very talkative about his faith most of the procedure before we started, but we didn't encounter any issues or problems. Yes, sir.
What will happen to Mr. Cannon's remains?
Well, they'll get turned over to the ME, and then at that point, I don't know if we have, I know what the family's wanting to do with his final remains, but the ME will handle it from here. Okay, any other questions? All right, thanks, guys.
Next, the family will speak and they will take questions. 2 minutes.
She's the daughter of the victim. She'll be making a brief statement. We're going to try to limit questions to about 2 minutes. Obviously, they've been doing a lot, so we'll let them get a few things off their chest, and then we'll let them get on their way. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by saying thank you first and foremost to the Attorney General and his entire office, the DOC, the Tulsa Police Department, and all the past and present individuals that played a huge role in supporting myself and my family in this case the entire time. If it weren't for you all, especially your office, the Attorney General's office, support and hope would have been lost along the way. However, the constant support and reassurance and relationships that have been built with that particular office and the individuals throughout these last 17 years of my life has played a huge role in today and being comforted with what was to come forward. So thank you with the most sincerest part of my being that I can offer to you all. That's all that I have.
You feel like providing like your justice today?
I don't necessarily want to use the word justice, but I do feel like justice was rendered in a way that it should have been. There's no justice for replacing a life or taking a life. However, it was what was necessary, if that makes sense.
Would you mind spelling your name?
Yes, YEHSHEN,
And your last name?
white, just like the color, hyphenated Hicks.
And you and your sister both?
This
I
is
am
my aunt.
The aunt, yes.
This is my mother's sister.
I'm the youngest.
And what's your nickname?
Shaya, Shaya. Duncan, Duncan.
And were both of you witnesses? Did both of you witness the accident?
Yes.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on it?
The process, the DOC did a wonderful job. At no point in time did I feel uncomfortable. At no point in time did I feel as if there was any threat or just anything was going wrong or unpredictable. In my opinion, he died in a very favorable way that a lot of people in good health would request or prefer to die when it is their time. He died in his peace. Unfortunately, my mom did not have that opportunity. He was allowed to say his goodbyes, read lips, give thumbs up. It was peaceful for him.
Did it upset you at all that still to this day is showing signs of remorse in his final words?
No, for myself, no. I didn't expect it. He hasn't shown any remorse in 28 years. Not at one point in time has he offered a sincere apology. Not at one point in time has he offered a sincere apology to the family or just repenting what he's actually done for himself. So I didn't expect it. It was the reaction that we got through his last words was definitely selfish, and that's been how he's been the entire time. So it was expected for myself. I don't know how you felt.
The same. I really didn't expect an apology. He hasn't been apologetic throughout the whole thing. So his last words was not a surprise.
You guys have been walking this journey for a long time.
28 years.
And without your sister, without your mother, now that you're at this point, what would you say to your mom? What do you think?
I would start by saying we did it. We did it. We were your voice. We stood for you when you could not stand. We continue to fight your fight when you could no longer. So I would say she was not defeated. She may not be here in flesh. However, she is still here within me, within her sister, within our family. So I would definitely say I'm your cheerleader. I'm glad she was my cheerleader to tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, something's still not right. He's still here. You still have a fight. So we did it.
And what's next for you?
This is the start of a new journey, a new chapter, not only for myself and for my family, but also for the other surviving victims. We can now easily breathe at ease. It's unfair to feel as if a family has justice or feel content or feel okay because a individual is in prison. It's just unfair. It's unfair to feel that that's okay or that's the end of the line. In our particular case, he had already escaped once before, so it doesn't put us at ease to know that he's behind a set of bars again. to know that this is finally done. There's no more escaping. There's no more possibilities. That's what puts us at ease. And I think I speak for not only myself, but also for those other surviving victims.
We appreciate you guys, your courage,
Thank you.
sharing your story today. I'm sure they're appreciative as well.
Thank you.
We'll let you guys head on out and try to get
To our
on with
journey.
life. Let
Yes.
the journey begin, right? Tay you so much.
Thank
God bless
you.
We appreciate you guys being
God
here.
bless you all.
We'll hear from the media witnesses in just a second.
Yay, Shan. Yay, Shan. You got it. You're welcome. You got it. Thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate you.
Okay, are you guys ready? We're going to start with Sean, if that's cool. You all right? We'll begin with you. And when you get up here, just give your first, last name, your association, so that the other agencies know. Go ahead. Yeah, you can start. Okay, sure.
Yeah, my name's Sean Murphy. I'm a reporter for the Associated Press here in Oklahoma City. Today's execution had, there were 14 witnesses, including the 5 of us media witnesses. There were the Attorney General, the former Tulsa County prosecutor, Dr. Urban Yin, and then a couple people I didn't know were all in the witness room with us. The curtains lifted right promptly at 10 a.m. The death warrant was read, I believe, by the warden. Mr. Cannon was asked if he had any last words. His last words were, "Yes, I confess with my mouth and believe in my heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. Therefore, I am saved. Thank you." The execution began at 10:01. Mr. Cannon flashed a thumbs up to his supporters, lifted his head, and looked smilingly over at his, I believe, family members and member of his legal team. A pastor was inside the chamber with him, had his hand on his foot. He appeared to stop talking, although the mic was off. We could see his lips moving, but he appeared to stop talking at 10:03. One of his family members, I believe, choked back some tears. He was, at 10:06, the member of the medical team came in and shook Mr. Cannon, talked to him. There was no response, and he was declared unconscious at 10:07. He was still breathing at that point. His chest stopped moving, and he appeared to stop breathing at 10:09. And the doctor entered at 10:12, used a stethoscope, checked for a pulse, checked his eyes for dilation, and he was declared dead at 10:13, and the curtain was lowered, and that was it. So, happy to take any questions. Yep. He said, he was asked if he had any last words. He responded, yes. And then he said, "I confess with my mouth and believe in my heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. Therefore, I am saved. Thank you." And then the mic cut off. He still communicated with his pastor and was appeared to be speaking, but I couldn't hear specifically what he was saying. Thank you.
My name's J.C. Hallman. I write for the Baffler magazine and a number of other outlets. I would add only that the breathing that Mr. Cannon was demonstrating after he appeared to be unconscious appeared quite stuttering. I wouldn't call it labored breathing. It didn't look like he was trying to breathe or he was making a conscious effort to breathe, but there was a stuttering effect. The sound was turned back on at one moment, very briefly, and we could hear a kind of rattling snore, I almost want to say, something close to that. That was very brief, and the sound was turned off again. And I thought that after his final words, as Sean stated them, there was an exchange with the pastor who was in the room. The pastor was reciting passages, and there was some kind of response that Mr. Cannon was providing. And over time, after the breathing appeared to stop, his complexion drained markedly. And all of that is happening in the time frame that Sean laid out minute by minute. Any questions? Yes.
Sometimes the inmate will weep or say, I love you to a family member. I think Sean said there was
Sure.
something in there. Was there any kind of exchange?
There just seemed to be visual to me. What I saw, he was making eye contact. He lifted his head several times and looked. He was looking to find the people he knew that he could see. He looked at all of us, but he found the people that he knew, and he made repeated eye contact with them. I wouldn't say that he ever smiled, but there was it was as though he was comforting them. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Erin Christie. I'm from KJRH in Tulsa. I don't have a lot more to add other than these gentlemen, what they had to say, other than this is my first time to witness an execution, and it seemed like a peaceful process, and from speaking with my colleagues afterwards, this particular one seemed to be a quicker process. He closed his eyes maybe fairly quickly as compared to some other experiences other people had. As far as the audience goes, the only other thing that I have to add is the one gentleman that Sean mentioned got choked up. When it was time to go, we're not allowed to speak, and he did get up and did seem very upset and agitated, almost as if he wanted to show some emotion, but he kept his composure and sat back down. But I really think they wrapped it up pretty well if anybody has any questions.
I'm Scott Martin with Fox 23 out of Tulsa. Myself too, this was my first execution to witness, and everyone did hit everything on point. To add a couple of things, as soon as that curtain opened, he was immediately making eye contact to see who was there for him. And as far as the smiling, it was almost like a half smile kind of smile thing, kind of like he said, as far as he was trying to kind of comfort who was there watching him. That's all I will add, and also kind of echoing what Erin Christie, I keep wanting to call her Christie, what Erin said is, it did seem to be quicker than some of the previous executions after talking with those who had witnessed more than one, that this one kind of went a lot quicker than previous. Thanks.
I'm Reagan Ledbetter with Channel 6 in Tulsa. This is my second one that I've witnessed. So I have one to compare it to, and I would kind of say what they've said. It seemed very quick, just minutes after the curtain raised. He closed his eyes. I would say that when the curtain raised, I would kind of call it a half smile, as Scott said. He kind of looked down the line, but when he saw that guy that Aaron had talked about that jumped up, it was like he went down the line, saw his legal team, saw some family members that he may have invited, and then all of a sudden it was like, what are you doing here? I don't know if it was somebody, a distant relative that he noticed and saw that reaction, but I noticed he had his hand or his thumb up for the first couple of minutes, even when his eyes were closed, and then it just kind of went down and kept that clenched fist for the rest of the time. When his advisor was praying over him, all of a sudden he starts talking, and I thought I saw him mouth, like, I love you, brother, to his advisor is what it looked like, and he's kind of just praying aloud before he closed his eyes. But he seemed to be asleep shortly after this whole process started. It's about all I have left. Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else need to add anything? Okay, we appreciate you guys and your willingness to be a part of this. We know it's a long day and not an easy day, so thank you for being here. We're going to ask you to break down as quickly as possible so we can get the prison back to our normal operating procedures. But again, thank you for being here. And we'll live to see you in a minute.
Unintended?
Okay. Unintended?
Thank you guys so much.
If I can get you guys a badge.